when kids create on their own. I am Sevinch. I spent last 4 years of my life with kids around, and I learned bazillions from them. I'm preschool teacher who is responsible for their academic, emotional improvement at early childhood stage. And as you know, this is really essential and important stage for all the human beings. At the first years of my teaching career, I always wanted to have perfect class with everything ordered, arranged. I wanted all worksheets to be perfect, so it meant for me that my students learned perfectly. I was still for students' creativity, but they were creative after my instructions. But then one day there was one question by my student that helped me to think about the creativity of them. So there are two types of, can we open? There are two types of classes that we can see in our country or in all schools. One class is very tidy, like without anything, without everything ordered. And when you look at this class, you can think maybe students aren't there, but they are there. But there is no work done by them. But in the second class, when you look, you can see class painted, who got dirty by students. So when you look at this class, you can understand someone used brain, someone thought critically, and someone got the result that she wanted. So this is where creativity happens. One day I asked my students to prepare Azerbaijani flag for me. And of course I showed them flag. They know how important it is. And they know, of course, Azerbaijani flag colors. But I didn't ask them about shape. I didn't say it should be circle or square. I just said them to prepare a flag for me. One of my students drew flowers and colored it as Azerbaijani flag, like blue, red, and green. And when she showed it to me, I thought if I should say, okay, maybe if you did it square, it would be better. But then I stopped myself, saying, please, maybe when I said Azerbaijani flag, she remembered flowers, or maybe she loves flowers, and that's why she carried this love to the flag. So it was again where creativity happened and where students added their creativity. In all, like most societies, when we say creativity, it's understood like art, drawing, painting, but no. If you cannot draw, it doesn't mean that you are not creative. Or if you can draw, it doesn't mean you own creative thinking skills or problem-solving skills. So we cannot call this person creative. Creativity is more than art. Creativity is the key to the problem solving, to understand what it is and what could be, the possibilities that could be. Baku, class of bubbly preschoolers. So you can imagine boys, girls in pink skirts, they think that they are princesses, so they're always happy. And they were building tower out of wooden blocks, and suddenly their tower started to wobble. And one of the girls went back and looked at the tower and dismantled all the tower. And what she did, she took the biggest wooden block and she put and said, let's do like this. And they started to build the tower, this time stronger because they had stronger foundation. So what the girl did was creative thinking. So she thought about the geometry of the shape. She thought maybe when I put the biggest shape under, so it will be stronger, and she was right. So all of us has potential to be creative. It comes from our teachers, from our families, that how much we are. You can say me that, okay, when we were learning, when we were students, we didn't create something on our own. We just learned with numbers, letters. But we should understand that the period that we lived and the period that our students, our kids will live are totally different. So that's why we should try to teach them in a way according to the period that they will live. Secondly, are you happy with your problem-solving, creative thinking skills? For example, when you are in a challenging situation, sometimes like you cannot create the option B, variant C or D. So if someone taught us in our childhood, in our students' years, so believe me now, we could do better. But okay, what can we do? I am a teacher, and what can I do to increase creativity in my class? Or I am a mom, so what can I do to increase my kids' creativity? Firstly, test. When I say test, I don't mean assess them or do written test or not like this. So test their abilities, test their interests, test their talents. For example, in my class, one of my students loved dancing, but she's not interested in learning numbers because she's just 4 years old. So what can I do with her? I can dance with her while counting, for example, 1, 2, 3, and turn 4. So, and every day I will repeat it, I will change numbers, or next day I will change shapes, so she will learn them. So what I did what she loves, and I taught her the numbers. Or one of them loves singing, so singing is a preschool student's lovely activity. So what I will do, I will sing with them. Like when I teach numbers to them, like I sing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, jump. And every day we repeat it. So what's the result? Now they know how to count to 10. Next time they know how to count to 20. So this is why we need testing. We need to understand what's their interest, in which area they can learn, they can be creative, so we can teach them in this way. Second question, let them question everything. Let them, like, they can ask, like, why is the sky blue? Like, they ask me every day a lot of questions. Miss Sevinch, why are you wearing necklace today? Why our cleaners wear blue uniforms? Like, yes, you can be asked a lot of questions, or maybe you don't know the answer, but try to create the answer, so next time they will be more confident to ask questions to you. And third, like when you arrange your class or when you arrange your kids' room, please don't try to seem creative. Try to use their creativity. Like when you enter the class, you can understand who is creative in this class, teacher or student. So when you look at the walls, when you look at the shelf, so you will understand if students are creative or the teacher is creative. So try letting them to create, because today you will let them create their own room, so tomorrow they will be confident to create their own new world. and less screen time, more playtime. I know nowadays screen time increased, playtime decreased. It's another story to discuss, and I am for their screen time because we live in a technology period, but of course we can balance it. One of my students loves pirates. He's in pirates. Like every time he says that I will be pirate, he loves pirate dances. So instead of watching pirate videos, I can ask him to be a pirate for me. When I give him pirate costume, of course he will be happy, but I don't do it for him because I want him to create pirate costume for himself. He can cut jackets, okay, do it. He can cut papers to make something for his hair, but what he will do, he will think, he will do problem solving, critical thinking, and he will get the result. Close to the end of my speech, I want to show you something that I carried today. This scarf was my favorite scarf, but now it is my most favorite scarf. It was all white. Wait. Once I was wearing it to my class, and it was painting day in my class, and one of my students came and hugged me, and of course my scarf got painted. She looked at me, I looked at her, like she was waiting for my reaction. And I said, you know, it was white and I was a little bit bored. Why not to decorate again? So she looked at her friends and called them. All of them came and started to paint. I didn't say what to paint, like we were learning about Republic Day, so one of them drew flag, or one of them drew hearts, rainbows. One of my students drew her home here, and she next to the home. So after this day, I tried to carry this scarf with myself. So if I said to this girl, please try to be careful when she hugged me, I am sure that after this she wouldn't be confident to be creative or to love someone, to show. At that moment she wanted to show her love to me, so she did it. Why should I say be careful? I'm really happy to be here. Thank you very much.